G'day everybody. I want to talk about now the freedom of speech and how it gets attacked in this world in all sorts of ways. And I'll just explain a quick theory way of mine that I feel that relates to me. And that is how China could take over in a different way. Or any country. But I'll just put China for me because it's how it relates to me. And China, instead of warring to take over, if you're a country and you wanted to take another country and you wanted land resources, you just wanted the country, right? Instead of warring them, definitely this day and age, you don't have to go and literally attack them. There's other ways, behind the scene ways, the law ways, in the way that the world works with, because we have these world laws, we all share money, we have these laws that we work, so we can go buy a house overseas with these laws, right? And so instead of taking over a place with war, what you can do is you can infiltrate. And how you can do that is you slowly, and it takes time, this way it takes longer than just having a war, but patience is key, and in the end you can win with this. And how you infiltrate is you go over there and you start spreading your ways. And you can do it with money too. So if you got money, it's very easy to infiltrate because money is king, right, in the way we live. And so you get people from your country to go over there and start giving people a hand. And while you're giving out money and that, you tell them about your ways and you try to encourage them if you're giving them money that they're going to do your ways while you're giving them money. A little bit like the Chinese Belt Road Initiative. That's what they do. But if you research the Belt Road Initiative, it only benefits China, right? Which is cool for China, eh? And that's what we all try to do. We all go, let's make our country great again, which is fair enough. But it's how you do it. Are you going to make your country great by shitting on others? Or are you going to make your country great by connecting and loving? There's different ways of doing how you're going to make your country great. And what China did is we'll go over and we'll say we've got the money and resources and we'll help you out, but you've got to give us all this and this is going to happen. We're going to make you change your mind on this because otherwise we're not going to do this Belt Road Initiative. That's the whole about agreement. They know all about it, the countries that have signed it. And apparently Victoria was thinking about this Belt Road Initiative too that I've heard of. I'm not 100% right into it, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. That's what I've heard, that Victoria was the candidate for this Belt Road Initiative and they were thinking about it, which I would think you wouldn't want to do it if you research this Belt Road Initiative. We can do things ourselves and we don't need China. But anyway, if they think we do and it's a good fit, then go ahead. But I wouldn't do it, as China rules and the way they do things I don't agree with, and I don't want to, if I don't like it, I'd rather just attack them or just leave them alone. So in my opinion, I'd be leaving them alone, won't I? As I be doing other things unless I feel like talking to them about their problems and if they want to talk to me about it. And then we can talk about selling things together, as I can't buy things for my people if I'm getting it from people that, definitely if I don't need to get it from them, right? I understand I might have to do it if you needed to. People do what they need to do. They need to do it. It's the last resort after all the love opportunities. But if there's another country that sells the same thing but it's a little dearer, I'd rather go there because they treat their people better than another country. That's just how I see that kind of thing. And they're more willing to maybe negotiate with proper terms. But anyway, go back to China or any country, but I'm using China. Remember, don't get too upset, China, about that I'm using you as this story, but you can get upset about anything else I've said about what I think about you and how you treat your people. And China can come over and buy us. They can buy us out. So instead of warring with you, what you can do is you do all that infiltration. You come over, you buy things, and you slowly get people to see it your ways. And you give them money, and giving them money makes them easily see your ways because they're like, oh, we love this money and this life's going good for us, so we'll go with it. And for humans, that's an easy thing to do. And what they do is they start buying everything. And then in the end, you've infiltrated and brought everything enough like a gang does that you own the area. Everyone loves you. You own the area, but you're China, aren't you? You're buying everything, so everyone loves this China man. And so in the end, you don't have to buy it because everyone loves you because you're a nice person and you give them money pretty much in the end. Right? In the end, that's what it is. I don't see too much people just being nice in countries, being nice to each other because of niceness and wisdom and words. But it's usually a money thing, who gives the most money and how they give it. And so once they've infiltrated, you could start to have your ways like that there. So what happens in China is, if people talk about freedom, is they censor it. They don't let it go overseas. There's different ways you can censor signals. We play around with signals all the time, and we can tap in and tap out and censor it, not let it get so far, put them in bubbles, all sorts of things. And what they do in China, and other countries do it too that like to dominate their people, is they make these single bubbles where they can only single and transmit so far and communicate to so much, and they limit to what they can communicate to because they're controlling. They don't want their people to uprise or see something that might make them upset as they're controlling. Because if you're not a controlling country, you shouldn't, and you're doing everything right with your people, you shouldn't worry about what your people see. If they're seeing bad things, you can advertise about that. You don't have to watch, right? But you're cutting them off altogether without looking up things. Like censoring bad things is fine, but not censoring whole countries is not right. It's blocking communication, and it's good to see, to show your people what other countries are doing, even if it's good or bad, and talk about it than censoring them with it. And what I'm saying, and why I say I relate to China, is that we've had this problem with the Belt Road Initiative and China buying a lot of land here in Australia and infiltrating us a bit. And I don't know exactly what's going on behind the scenes when it comes to infiltrating our country, as I'm just a citizen that watches TV and watches what everyone else sees and is available to, so I'm not into all that kind of stuff. But this is my opinion and my feel, is that they've infiltrated us enough where we're starting to come like them, where we speak freedom, there's enough of them in here to censor that freedom or pay money to people to not talk about things. And maybe that's what they do when they go to initiate their Belt Road Initiative. Are they censoring people so they can get that Belt Road Initiative to happen? Or I don't know. I'm blabbing right now. But all I know is I feel like a citizen in China, and then I'm getting censored the more I talk about freedom of speech and come and talk to me about it, because that's what we had in China, is that people had freedom of speech problems and the government will just rock up and shut them down and lock them up and go, no, you got to be like this and that's it. And everybody knows that. And that's what a lot of countries are all going to. We're buying from China, right? We're looking up to China. We all want to be rich like China, and China's getting everything. What's going on there? So countries are starting to go, China's doing so well, maybe we should be like China. That's what it looks like it's happening, people. Everyone wants to be like China because China's doing so well with the domination, because people are buying their stuff. Everyone likes to look away. It's sad. The countries are just look away on certain information that they shouldn't deal with them at all. They think they need China, but we really don't. We've got our shit together. We've got to a point where a lot of countries do now, which is sad, which helps China dominate, because we brought things from China so cheap that our factories just shut down and we don't really technically make a lot of things now. And so now we're reliant. And so if we ever have a problem with China, we won't be able to build these things. And because of that scares people. They're like, oh, we don't want that. And so that's how China can control, by going, well, you better do what we're asking you to do. We're not saying to kill your people or control your people like we do, but we're saying to trade with us so we can do more of this domination. And that's what they'll keep on doing. They're getting powerful and powerful. They're building their own islands. They're doing their things because everybody's buying from them. And rather just do computers and say, we just, here in Australia, they say, oh, we shouldn't be a labour country. Yeah, students should just learn to use computers and stuff like that. But I find that wrong. All countries should do that. But they also should still do the old way with labour and elders, supply themselves with the minimal. And when it comes to trade, should be for all bonus equipment that we use minimal, and that we can recycle too, so that way our materials don't go to waste. And if we need to upgrade, we can just melt it down and redesign it, couldn't we? You know, there's lots of ways to stay self-efficient, but everyone wants more and it wants it easy, and that's sad. How would we fix this problem that we're stuck in? All of a sudden you'd have to keep on buying, wouldn't you? But you'd quickly fix up your factories and start building yourselves and find another way so you can quickly change back over, quickly stop doing what you're doing. That's how I find I've changed things. If you're doing something wrong, is to try to stop it as soon as possible and figure out a way to be self-independent or not need it, and then you can stop it. I make it sound easy, don't I? But the biggest problem is in this world that we all fight is envy and greed. Until we can teach about envy and greed and that it's wrong and it's not a good thing and it's a bad trait we have and we need to fight it, and we see people who have envy and greed, we should talk to them a lot and try to fight this thing that we have until evolution finally drains it out. Till then, we're going to constantly have corruption and problems, usually always caused by envy and greed. Anyway, Star Trek and Spock's half kind. What do they call them? You got Klingons. Having a memory. Oh, Vulcans. Sorry, the Vulcans. Right, would tell you that. They're like, oh, we get it all worked out. But then they miss out on a lot of things. Anyway, I'm blabbing now. Bye.